I got a bit of inspiration off this Crawley box, what I could see of it. So it was pretty basic, and I thought that'll do. We'll have a look. That was some of the pictures I could get. So it had a solid brick back, and the wooden bit and the windows wrapped around it. I thought that's quite an easy thing to do. These little bits at the top won't FDM print the time where you make the signal box, so I've had to adapt that. Yeah, so in general, it was what that should be. So, right, let's have a look. Right, so I've done it in sections, and I haven't put a frame inside because we've got these reveals on the brickwork. So you've got to step the brickwork out a bit. So the actual frame of the building is self-supporting, basically. So I just mitered it at 45 degrees. Now I have printed this. I don't know if you've seen the picture I put up there, and it does print. It prints lovely. It really does. So we've got, all we've got is a few sections. The roof section was also printed in one piece. Not the chimney. Chimney was separate, mainly for ease of painting, I think. You can print it on top. It will print on top, but I do it for ease of painting. Explode that. So the roof was printed in one section, but this lip around the top, because you'll have to put supports in if you wanted to print it. It's got a bit of pretend guttering around there. So I printed this separate, put it on the top, and then just put the roof on top of it, dab of super glue, job's a good one. So it is in 3 sections. So, and front, we can hide that. Back and 2 sides. Now I did opening windows. If we hide the left side, so ignore these ones here. I'll explain them in a bit. But the sliding windows are these ones, and I just printed them separate, and they actually clicked in. They didn't need gluing in, so you can actually slide them open if need be. So it gives you a bit of options. The doors I print separate, gives you options. You want them open, you want them closed. And the staircase, I've done in one piece and chopped it in the slicer. I'll show that, to make it in sections. It's a bit awkward to print in one bit, a lot of supports, so you're better off just chopping that. Right, so we can go edit, and we unhide all the ones we hid. So I start off with just my base, and we'll draw a square on here, and it's 5.3 by 2.65. We'll copy that. Actually, we'll cut that, and we'll go to our working plan. So draw a base, zoom in on it. This is our base. So if it comes up blue side up, right click and reverse face. The white side is the outside, blue side is the underneath. If we click away, now if it doesn't change blue, it's not a group. So if we double click on this base now, turns blue, we'll right click and we'll make a group. The reason being, if you add stuff to this now, it will not change the geometry of the base. The base stays as it is. Because if you start adding walls and stuff to this, it will mess it up, basically. So, right, we'll say that's our base. We've measured it off to whatever you want. How thick did I do the walls? So we'll come down, we'll get a tape measure, and we can measure the thickness of the walls. I'm not sure how I've done it. 0.32. So we'll go back to working. So what we want to do now is, Should have centered this on the axis, but there we go. If we double click on the middle, highlight the center, copy it, do an edit, paste in place, and then we go to the left and we use the offset tool, come to the edge, and then we offset, so we say 0.32, and there we go. Now, to get rid of any geometry, if you click on that wall that we need now, we'll copy it and then triple click, which gets rid of, and delete, and it gets rid of all the geometry that was there. And we do an edit, paste in place. So that's our wall to start with. Now, I did do it at 45-degree angle, so we will have to draw a line from the corners out, and then we've got to work on our walls that way. So if we triple click and then right click, and we'll make a group. We've got two groups there. We've got the floor plan, don't really need that. We can right click and we can hide that, it's not needed. So we've got our walls to start with. We'll work on the front wall first. So we'll click on this object, double click to open it, and then we'll click on the mitered part of the wall. We'll copy it and we'll go edit, paste in place. So now we can't select the back bit, we work on the front bit. So we'll look at the box. How high did I do the first layer? We'll find a corner. With the ruler, click on the bottom brick. My zoom don't seem to be working too well. Click on the bottom brick, press the up arrow, which constrains it to the Z axis. So I can't go left or right, I can only go up. And if we go up to the top there, and it was 4.95. So we'll go back to our working plan, and then I got a new mouse and I think my mouse is not playing well. Anyway, we'll click on this wall and then we'll extrude it up. That's 4.95, and we'll do an enter. So now we've got our front wall. So if we triple click on that, right click, and we'll make that a group as well. Now we can, the front and back are the same. So we can double up on this. We can make the front and just mirror it for the back. The ends are slightly different. So we'll do the front first. So we'll go to box. Let's click on our box. And how wide did I do these pillars? We'll click on, find a brick section there. I've got 0.62 for my pillars. I mean, this is all, if you're working off a proper diagram on that, you'll have all these there. So we do a 0.62, and we'll go to our working, and we'll put some guidelines. So we're using the tape measure. Click on the edge, on the red axis, 0.62, and then the same again. Keep it on the red axis, 0.62. So we know our pillars have got to come up there, and I think it was into the center. So if you click on the edge again, don't click in the middle. If you click in the middle, oh, it works this time. It's best to click halfway along and then drag it along the red axis, and it'll find the middle. And it changes from square to dot, so we know that's in the middle. So these pillars 0.62. So if we do 0.31 and a 0.31 and enter, and these will be marking out for our pillar. And what was top and bottom? We click on the bottom brick, press the blue Z or the blue axis up arrow, and the bottom was 0.29. Reduce, no idea why. So we'll come in and we'll put 0.29, and the same again from the top on the blue axis. So we've got our guides lined up for our wall now. So we can draw a line, or actually we can draw squares on this one. So if we get the square tool, which is the box there, we'll come on. When you line up on a cross reference point or that, it will change to a cross, so you know you're on there. And it's going on, if it changes green, you're going on a green axis, you're flat on the wall. To the other corner, click on, we've got a face on there. Same again, click on, we've got a face on there. Now we have to right click reverse face, and a right click reverse face there, because the blue side was out and it won't work. Now my mistake now is I've done these walls on the outside of our group. So what we need to do is double click, press Control, double click, and we'll copy them. Actually, we'll cut them. So now we want to go into our group. So if we double click our group and we do an edit, a paste in place, they're now part of our wall. So the cut, copy, edit, paste in place, really handy tool. Do a lot of stuff with that. So there we got basically our wall lined out. We'll go back to the box. I'm not sure how far I recessed the bits there. So if you zoom in, this is our, they call it a reveal, I think. So if we click on the edge, now you can see it's going along the green line, so it's constrained into along the face there, along the y-axis, 1.6. So I've pushed the front wall back 1.6. We're doing this scope, we'll go back to working. So what we need to do now is, if you press the space bar, whatever tool you're in, press the space bar, you'll go back to the pick tool. So we can't edit this group, double click it though, and we get into it. And then we can use the push pull tool, push it back 0.16. And as you type it in, you'll see it in the bottom right hand corner there. Now, bad move, because I must have been pulling it forward at the same time and it's pulled it forward. So we go to Control Z, click on it, make sure we're going backwards, and then put 0.16. And we put 0.16, not 1.6, 0.16, and there we go. Now, you don't have to type it in for the second one. All you do is a double click, and it'll just pop it back the same distance. So press the space bar, and basically that's our front wall set up. Our reveals in it, and we can clad that with brick, no bother at all. So what we've got on the box, so what we need to do now is just bung the windows on the front. So we'll go for back to our working. We'll find out where you want your windows. Now, with the tools you've got on here, curved windows, round top windows, easy peasy. So we'll get our ruler, we'll find some guides and get a bit of, I can't remember how high up, I don't know, going box. So if I click on the bottom edge, press the up arrow and go up, and our window was 1.4 high, and along the green, red, 1.4, 1.51. There we go. So if we come on the bottom and we go up, now it is going to be a bit awkward because when you put a line up now, you're going to come off the front edge. We do it to 1 point, I can't remember now, 1.5? It's going to be on the front edge, so we can't actually, if you see there, we're lined off the edge there. But what we can do is reference the back now. So if we click on the back wall and go on the Z, so it's the up arrow, and then we go up and we reference off that line we just made till it changes. And there we go, we've referenced off this front line onto the back. So it does a lot of inferencing, SketchUp. So if you want to draw a line in the middle, you don't have to measure it. You come off the edge, make sure you're going, so you're not sure where you're going. We're going along the x-axis, so that's the right key till it changes red. You can't go anywhere else. And then if you look at the bottom, you'll find it goes to midpoint. So we click on there. Now, what I said before is sometimes you'll click on there to there, it'll come a straight line across. And if I come halfway down the wall and go along the x-axis and then do it this way, it puts a line straight up. So you have to be careful where you start inferencing or measuring from, because that must have been on a reference point there somewhere, and it went in a straight line. But you can constrain that by pressing Control and straight lines and that, but we won't do that today. So we'll get rid of that front line, don't need that. And we don't need that line there. So that's a window. Not sure how high. So I've cheated a bit. We'll go to window because I've set it up. So I've set some templates up here. But it's easy enough to do. So we'll take this one. This is a window, and we'll copy that. We'll go back to our working, and then we'll do a paste, and then we'll paste it. Now it will come in on the SKU, so it's on the SKU there. So if we go to our protractor, click on the edge. Now you've got to get it so it's facing on an axis. At the moment it's not. So if we press the x-axis, we can raise it that way. On the y-axis, we could turn it on the front. And the z-axis, we can skew it around the bottom. So this one, we want to go on the corner, press the right arrow, constrain it on the x-axis. Click on, pull away, and just rotate. You can use a protractor. There we go, it's 90. If you look right in corner, bottom right, 90 degrees. Yep. Or you can just start moving it, type 90, enter, and we're still on 90 degrees. There we go. So we want to go on here, we want to pick it. So we have a move tool. We'll come in the center, find the center of the object here. A good shortcut is when you want to place something, you don't know, you could be, and you want to place it on here. Click on the middle, midpoint, press the up arrow, and then go across, find where you want to place it, press the up arrow, and then enter, and you're on there. And that works with all objects. So you can have an object in the distance, press the up arrow, find where you want to place it, press the up arrow again, press enter, jobs are good. And what we need to do is we want another window that side.
Eddie, is it worth showing how you actually create the window with the rectangle and then the 2-point arc?
Yeah. Here we go. Right. So we've got that as a reference. Now what we can do is we'll come in with our square tool. We'll do a guide on this one as well. From the edge to the center. So we know that's square then. So we'll take our square tool. We'll start drawing a square. We press the left arrow key. This constrains it to there. We can reference off there. No, we can't. No, it won't do it on that. What I should do is though, is just draw a square and scale it. Draw a square, double click. We can scale it. And we want to come as a square bit on there. So we can scale it off, reference it off this window. Yeah, but we can't reference the width. So we need to measure that was 0.5. So if we just go along that edge, 0.5, scale it, and we'll come across 0.5. We'll double click this, we'll get the move tool, click on the edge, do a control, and then go along the red axis, and there we go. Take out the middle line, and you've got this part of the window. Now the arch, if we want it the same as this one, we'll bring a guide in. So we from the top, make sure it's on the blue axis, and we'll bring it down to the top of that window there. So we know this window wants to be the top of that one. Over to the left, we've got a 2-point arc. We'll click on that, left side and right side, and then we'll just bring it up. And then we'll come onto that intersection there. It will change to a cross. We've got that arc there. Now, if you notice, the default, we'll get rid of this, materials. You'll have your bars on the right hand side here, and we've got entry info. If you click on that, this will give you info you're clicking on. Now this one I've already done. That's a bit broken up there, but I think that's about, we'll click on this one. This one here, it says segments 12. If you look, it's not with great segments. I would change that to say 30. Press enter, and there we go. We've got 30 segments, and for what size we're using, call that round. The bar in the middle, we'll take that out, and there we go. We're left with the window, same as this window here, but this one has only got the frame in it. So if we click on this frame, because we don't need that, so we made this window, and that's what we were looking for. So now what we can do is double click, move tool, click on the edge, control, along the x-axis to the line, click the middle, because we've got a guide on the left. Along the x-axis, do a control, and then we've got duplicated. Press the pick tool, which is a space bar, and then double click this one. We'll cut these. We'll open up our wall so it's editable, and then we'll go edit and a paste in place. And a bit of luck, we should have our windows there. If we click on a window, use the push pull tool, push it back. If you see it changes colour to sort of, it's got the white stripes through it, and that'll push it through. If you do it and you're not sure, you can always come and reference on the back wall, anywhere along an edge, and it will take it out exactly the same. And that's it. And we'll call that quits on our openings for our windows. You should always save this, by the way, he says. Right, so we've got a lot of guidelines there we don't need, so we go edit, delete guides. Yep. So we'll go back to our window. Now, we know this is our frame. Yep. So we're happy with that. Actually, that should be filled in. If you find an object that's not got a middle to it, draw a line across and it'll fill it in. Delete that middle bit. Right click, reverse face. And that's the piece we cut out from our window. Now what we need to do is we need to make a frame like this one. So we'll delete that frame there. We'll come to this one. This is the piece we took out. So if I go back to working, if you've come to this stage and you thought, I need that piece in the middle there, open the group by double clicking, draw across the front so it fills it in. Space bar to pick tool, click rid of that, get rid of that blue line. This piece here now, if we cut that, we know that is our window size. We'll go to window, and then we'll come in, we'll double click, we'll get rid of that, and then we'll paste. And this is our window come in. Same again. So we need to rotate that down. So if we come to the rotate tool, click on the edge, you see straight away it's gone to the green. Do we want that? No. So if you press escape, same with the bottom, if you put on the blue, you know, it's always though, keep it on an axis. So if you're going to rotate it, try and keep it X, Y or Z, because otherwise you can mess your geometry up. But we want it on the red axis, come out, rotate it so it's on the deck, so that's 90 degrees. So that's the window we want. So if we double click, right click, make a group. Now this is one of the plugins we've got. We've got 1001 bit tool, and it's all in the, I think John will put it in the description. We have done videos on this before on what these actual toolbars do. They do loads of stuff. But the one we want today is divide selected face into panels. Basically, it's a window frame. So we click on that, and it will come up with our panel divider box. So what we need is number of rows. I can't remember. How many we cancel that, so I can't remember what the original window was there. 2 columns, 3 rows. Right, we'll go back, we'll click on, go to panel divider. So we want number of rows was 3, number of columns on the right, we'll go for 2. Sounds good. Frame depth is 0.15. I'm pretty sure I'd gone for 0.1. So that's 1 mil. And the frame width was 0.1. I'm pretty sure of that. The only other one, divider width, I would go for 0.04. And then it says panel location in relation to front, middle or back. Put it on the front and then create window. And click on, and that's our window. It's as easy as that. So now, if you click the space bar as a pick tool, we can click on this window. We don't want the glass in it. You can have it for show, but it does do nothing, and it sometimes messes up the slicing. So if we double click on it, and then you can see now that the glass is a selected piece there. If we delete, just got rid of the glass. And that's it. That's our window frame. So this here is the shape of our window frame. So we know that. So if we do a control, we'll move that. Actually, we won't move it across just yet. What we need on the window frame as well is we're putting bricks around the edge, like little soldiers, I think they call it. And also we want a piece of the bottom for a windowsill. Now, if you draw it like this, we know the window's going to fit in the gap. Windowsill, I've measured that up as well, 0.16, 1.6 and 2 mil high. Yeah. What this can do is we can put this on our face of our wall and we can build off this. So it's actually a bit of a guide more than anything. Now, what we needed to do was, if I delete this outside one, I mean, you're all okay with that one. So we've got the outline of our window and we've got our window sill. Now we want these soldier bricks, I think they're called. So we'll measure, I did them 0.3. 0.3. So these need to go all the way around. So what we need to do is offset this wall. Now at the moment it's in various sections. So if we click on all the sections of this part, right, I'm going to have to move I've got my bar in the way here. There we go. Click on this and go to the top. It's another plugin, Super Weld. Click on weld and it's welded. It should have welded. Yeah, it's welded the frame together. Yeah, the bottom bit's not welded, but the frame, this is here. So what we need to do is click on the left side, offset. Come on here and then just offset this frame by 0.3. There we go. And that is where our bricks will run round. Okay. And our window sill. So we can actually delete that. We don't need that, I don't think. And we can delete that. So we're back to where we was. The header part, we will have to fill in it after, because when we stretch it, it makes a funny shape and I'm not sure of the shape. So we delete this all here. So we want a load of soldier bricks to go around the top. So that's 3 mil. Now we want to know the length of this flat line here. So if we click on it, if we go to our entry info, we see there it's 4.44 meters. So what we need to do is we get the oblong tool. We'll go along in a line. If it's bottom right hand corner, you can type in 4.44, do a comma, and then a 0.3, enter. That will wrap around there. So that's perfect for there. Now what we need to do is double click on here, right click, and we'll make a group of that. Faces reverse first. Now we want some bricks. So we got oblong tool. If you look at the right hand corner there, so we do a 0.3, come up 0.2. I'm not sure. I suppose I could measure them, couldn't I? How wide these bricks were. 0.3. Oh, 0.15. And a gap of 0.3. Right, so we're on Windows. So we'll do a Control Z on there. We'll draw a box. 0.3, 0.15, enter. Now we had space of 0.03, enter. We'll go, I'm not sure how deep these are either. So we can go back, measure along the edge, 0.1. Right, so we'll get our brick, we'll pull it up, burst the face, pull it up, 0.1, enter. Double click or triple click, right click, make a group. And all I need to do is grab this one, we do a control along the red axis and move it to that line, our grout line, basically our mortar line. Click on, we'll do I'm not sure how many are going to fill it. So if we do a times 20, and what it does is multiplies that by 20 times. And it's probably too long. Nope. So we come back and we do a, don't have to do anything else, just do a times 25, and it'll add some more until we can fill that up. There we go, 25. So we click on that end brick, not needed. Now it's not exactly, but what you can do is, if we click on the underneath, that's our guide we put in there. Right click and hide that. And we'll make all them bricks there one group. Make a group, and then we'll edit and hide that bottom piece. And then what we can do is click on the scale tool, click on the middle, and then we can scale this back till it references. You see, that's our length of our wall. There we go. So we're good. Width-wise, space tool. Right, so what we need to do though is make a header, isn't it? I'm not sure where the middle is. If we click on, it might probably find better on the bottom. Find the middle. No, it's showing the bricks, isn't it? I think that's why I split it in half. We'll hide the bricks. We'll find the middle of here. Click on the end. Go along. There we go, there's the middle. All right, edit, unhide the last one, which was your bricks. Now, depending on what header you want, that's the middle one. What we can do is we come in here, select the bricks, double click, so open the group, but then you have to double click again to open that group. So we've got that brick face there, and we can pull that up 0.1. And by the looks of it, that will be our header brick. Oh, is it? I'm not sure what they call it, the bit at the top. Right, now we want to bend this around that frame there. So we'll come in, we'll draw a line. Now this line must be along the red axis, and we are working along the red axis here. Draw the line as long as the bricks. And then we'll move that line, if we can get it. And we'll go up just a tad to take it off the bricks. So all we've done is draw a line, a reference line. Then we want to go, we'll select all the bricks, and then we'll come up to this plugin called Shape Bender. We'll click on, and at the bottom there, it says, please select a single line that lies on the red axis. Now, this is the line we're after, the one we just drew. We'll click on that, the start and the end. And then we click on our arch. Oh. Obviously, the arch is not. That's arch. Perhaps if we delete that line there, perhaps it's getting confused with that. Try again. So we click our bricks, Shape Bender, on the line around the arch. Now that has wrapped them around the arch, as you can see. Now if you press, I think it's the up arrow, it will bring it on the inside of the arch. Up arrow on the outside. When you're happy, just press enter, and that's our bricks. And they're all laid along there nicely. So if we get that, we'll hide that. So I'll tell you what we need is that bottom bit underneath. And we'll draw that line back in. There we go. And delete that. and right click reverse face and right click reverse face. Right, if we make it duplicate that, because I think we need that for our bricks. Control on the red axis, we just duplicate it, and we do an edit and hide the last, and that was there. And then we'll want to put the bricks, the window on the bricks. We'll just move that across. We'll go along the red axis. We can't place it in proper position yet because we need to take this over to the wall. So first thing we can take both over. Highlight both them. Yep, copy. We'll go to our box. And then we'll do a paste. Why does it always not go the way you want it to go? And then we'll click on the rotate tool with the red, up 90. And then we go, right. Now we want to put this object here on both sides of this, and it'll say it's easier to lay our bricks on the top. So if we right click, make a group, we can put that one. Just go to sliding it in there. That should fit. If we pick the middle. It's not the middle, is it? We'll click an edge. There we go. And then we'll click on Control along the red axis. If we click the window, we'll do a Control on the red axis. Click on there. We'll click on there. We'll click on this one. We'll cut them. Double click on the group, edit paste in place. And then we'll explode that one. And we'll explode that one. So now, when we go to lay our bricks, it will only lay the bricks on the shaded part. So we can lay them on this part, and this part. Now what we can do is, we've got a window. We'll put our window in first, click the window, go around the back, find a corner, lift it up, or we can do an up arrow into that corner. Oh, wrong one. Click on up arrow, click on the corner. We'll try that again. We'll click on the window, do the move tool, up arrow, up arrow. Sometimes it works. Then we do a Control along the red axis, do a pick tool, move, Control, red axis, we now move. Control, we'll get it, Control, red axis, move. And then we'll put in our bricks and our windowsill. Same thing, we'll do an up, pick. Actually, we'll pick the whole lot. Move tool, in the center, up, on the bottom, up, up, and then we do Control, red, there. So there we go, and then we want double click on the windowsill, and we'll pull this one out to the bottom of the bricks, double click again, and we'll pull that one out. We want to double click that and double click that, and we'll make a group of it so it's not into, and click the windows, right click, and we'll make a group. Now if we want to do any work or change it, if we right click and hide it, it hides all that stuff, but we don't. So we've got to this stage now. We've got our window group with the stones going around the edge, windowsill, and also we've got the wall group. So now we need to add some bricks. So if we double click on the wall, we'll click on this front wall and we'll do a control and we'll click on the back wall and this back wall. So we've selected the faces, excuse me, of these walls. So we'll copy them and we'll click away and we'll do an edit and a paste in place. So now these faces are separate from the walls. So if we add our bricks now to these walls, we can modify it and we can delete them and it won't affect our back wall. Most important that. So the first one, we'll do the back wall, we'll click on it, we'll click on the bottom, we'll come to OOB, which is our brick plugin, and I've already got my presets already set up. We've got bricks linker, and then we go places the bricks on. And if we come to the second, move this over a tab, and then we'll click on the bottom, and then we'll apply our bricks to there. And the same with the outside wall, click on the bottom, because if you click on the side, the bricks will go up the edge. We don't want that, and we'll apply that. And then we'll get rid of that OOB. So we've got three, no, we haven't got three groups, but we'll click on these bricks, all three groups of bricks, and we'll right click and we'll make a group. So now we've got the back wall as a group, on the main wall. We've got the windows as a group, and we've got the bricks as a group. And we're all good for that. So if we click on all three of them, control, all three, and make another group, that is our wall, and we can do what we like with it now. And if we right click and hide it, you might see some stray geometry from where to add in the bricks. So if you highlight all this, and we can delete all this stray geometry. It's the way that OOB works. And we do an edit, unhide last, and then we go, and that should be good to go for our wall.
You want to just go through your settings there then for the bricks?
Yeah, and if you duplicate that, you've got your back wall. And if you see, these bricks have all cut round the windows, they don't go through it, so we're good to go. It'll be a good print. Right, OOB, I think we've got to select the face first. We'll do a Control Z. Right, we'll click on the face. We'll get OOB. Got a lot of stuff on here. You've got presets, so you come in. The 001s are my presets. If you want to make your own presets, put a number in front, and it goes to the top of the list. But you've got from here down stuff that you can do. I mean, nuclear storm, and that puts in bars and stuff like that. You've got random stone wall. What I can do really is, well, let's put bricks back on there. We'll put some bricks back.
Well, I was thinking, Eddie, you know, the actual size that you've made the bricks, so the length, height.
Yeah.
And
What I do is, John, is I'll draw a square, yeah, and show you that way. And that way you can see the. So this is a wall, so a wall. And so this is my bricks linker. So this is based on the linker plaster of Paris system. I started off with that. So what I'd done was I measured their bricks because I thought, oh, if they've got it right. So yeah, I'll go for that. So the length of a brick, 0.26, so that's 2.6 mil long. Height is 1.3, with thickness of 0.04, which is 2 layers on an FDM printer. There's 0.03 for the mortar line. Yeah, that's it. So if you click on the wall, click on the bottom and apply it. It says too many bricks, but yeah, it will draw it. And there we go. You've got a nice brick wall. Now, what you can do, there is, on the right here, you can put a random. So if you put random length, change that to a 1. I should have made a smaller wall there, shouldn't I? There we go. Now, it's sort of random. Not the greatest of things to do on a wall, but there we go. We'll do a Control Z. If you put it back to 0, it goes from, and same with height, thickness. So if we apply that, and then we can go thickness, so we change that 0 to 1. You will get some randomness in it. Oh, it's on the back side now. There we go. But whether that will print or not on an FDM printer, because the bricks are, well, you might. That is, oh, yeah, well, it's double the thickness. No, thickness, no, 0.04. No, that's another layer. So, yeah, you will get some random thickness, but that's quite severe for a wall. But if you want to put a bit of randomness in the thickness, go for it.